The Grand Exchange is probably one of the more common places in the game where scamming and lures do go down. It is a place where you probably want to be careful a little bit extra, as this is absolutely where most scammers will find their targets. In this video today, I'm going to talk about a scam that I have seen very sort of often around the game at the moment, and I wanted to just make you all aware so that you could avoid it and make sure you don't get scammed or fall for the same thing, as it does have a fairly clever way to get people to fall for this. So I wanted to bring this to light, and I do have some examples of it happening with chat logs and stuff, and I will try to recreate it with an example in game just so you guys can get a little bit of a visual understanding of how it works. Finally, it'll be very much appreciated if you do leave a like on the video and do put a comment down below, as of course any interaction with the video then helps YouTube to suggest it to more people as well. The more people that see this, the less people that will get scammed, and of course that's the main focus of the video. Anyway, that's enough on the intro. Let's talk about what's happened. Let's talk about what you should keep your eye out for, and let's see if we can help some people avoid this stupid scam. So the basics of this scam is that it involves the Grand Exchange buy limit. What the person will do is they will hop around worlds asking people to help them with a buy limit of an item, and they will use an item that is rarely traded so that they can influence the price on it, making you pay way more than you should be, so that you end up buying their items from them, giving them a lot of money. However, it is very common that someone will ask for random people to help with a buy limit of an item. So how do you know if this person is doing this specifically, and how do you know what to keep an eye out for? But what are the red flags basically? So what this person will do is they will hop around worlds and they will ask people to help them to buy limit for an item that is absolutely fine. It makes sense. It is a normal item, something like dragon stones or something along the lines of food or feathers, anything that is absolutely normal for people to ask help on the buy limit for. Once you do actually help the player doing this, they will then do the exact same thing again, but with an item that is probably very rarely traded or something they've managed to buy out the bulk quantity for on the market, meaning they have most of the offers in there for sales. I'll put a screenshot on screen right now to show you the example of what I mean, as it's going to be quite important for making sure that you guys understand where I'm coming from. For anyone wondering about the screenshot, it is an actual attempt at a scam from someone in game. This isn't a recreation, this is actually the evidence that we got and the way that we figured out that this is what they're doing. Of course, the names won't be blurred because I have no problem with showing this guy's name out here, as it's just another name that you guys can keep an eye out for, because this is the same person that I saw doing the exact same scam, and then when someone brought it to my attention in the Discord as well with the screenshot, I recognized it straight away and went, huh. So he's doing this on pretty much every world that he's going to. So what this person was doing was trying to convince this person here to buy out a full stack of 1-dose Juju mining potions. The way they started this was asking them to buy something else beforehand, and then once they'd done that, they said, actually, can you also buy these items as well? They gave them 1 dose of the Juju mining potions to go and sell on the Grand Exchange to get the insta-sell price, which of course he had a buy offer in there for a ridiculously high price of around about 893k, which is a ridiculous price to pay for these 1 doses, seeing as the 4 doses actually buy for around about 70k each, instantly. So what's happened here is they have bought out probably the entire stock, which wouldn't be that much, of the 1-dose potions. And then what they've done is they've put an offer in for 890k to sell their doses of potions that they've bought up in the past, or they've probably decanted from the 4 doses. Then they give one of the 1 doses to the player and send them to the Grand Exchange to insta-sell that, in which they have an offer in to ensure that when that player sells that 1 dose, it will insta-sell at about 890k each. They do this to convince that person that this is a safe price, as it does seem ridiculously high, but it is a safe price to be able to buy this and trade it to that other person. However, as soon as you buy that stack of potions, if you buy 100, 500 or 1000, you end up losing a ridiculous amount of money, as soon as you do, their sell offer will go through directly to you. You have spent all that money and it goes directly to the scammer, and they will just log off. They won't pay you for the items, they won't do anything of the sort, they will literally just get that sale to go through and then they will disappear. Now, it's going to be quite important to keep in mind that they will also try and do anything they can to make you buy a big amount. So, for example, the person that you can see here in the screenshot managed to sell 100 of these potions to the scammer. This is because they wanted them to buy more than 100, of course. So they got 89 mil worth of these potions sold, they sold them to the actual scammer, and they did pay for them. This was to convince them to go back and buy another 450, or just the entire rest of the stack that they could buy. If they did this, they would have lost around about 400 mil if they'd done 450, and if they'd done the full 900, then, well, we know they would have been probably about 800 to 900 mil that they would have lost instantly. So it is very important to keep an eye out for this, guys. I wanted to make sure you were all aware that this is happening, and probably the safest option is to just not help with buy limits for anything that you are not sure about the price. If there is anyone that shows you anything that is ridiculously high in price, just stay away from it. It is not worth the risk. Do not help people with buy limits over a ridiculous high amount of money. If it's something like 10 mil and you were like, yep, that's the normal price for that, then go ahead and do help them out. I will help people with buy limits quite often, but when it's anything that's over a certain amount of money, either ask for money up front or just go ahead and don't help them, because if you do instantly buy something at a high price, chances are you won't be able to sell those back. So you want to make sure that you're being safe with this. Items that will usually be safe to help people with is things like gems, things like feathers and stuff like that, things that are traded a hell of a lot, like things that are like dumped on the Grand Exchange from PVM, things that just are used a lot but there's just a weird buy limit on them. Those items are usually fine, as there is a high volume of items the scammer could not buy out the entire market or influence the price in really any way whatsoever, because there's just way too many on sale. So it's when they ask you to do a random specific item that you're just like, why is it a 1 dose and not 4 dose, or you know, a random item that doesn't really make sense or you've not really heard of. That's when you want to be sort of aware of what's going on and just say no. Just say no to that, because at the end of the day, Jagex doesn't really punish scams all that much, and it is a little bit sad to see that, but you guys are your first line of defense. You personally are the ones that need to be aware of what's going on. Need to think, if this feels a bit fishy, just don't do it. If you're thinking like, you know what, this just seems a little bit off, there's something about this that I'm not liking, then you need to be the ones to say, no, this just seems like a scam, it's a little bit too weird for me, I'm backing out of this one. Even if it isn't a scam, it's safer for you to just not get involved anyway, because the 1 time out of 10 that it ends up being a scam, it's just not going to be good. So what I would suggest you do is just make sure that you are only helping people with buy limits on stuff that you know is highly traded, and if you're unsure about anything, just don't do it whatsoever. It's just the easiest way to do it. That person can go and find somebody else, or they'll just have to wait for the buy limit to come back on the Grand Exchange. There's nothing that you can do about that. You just need to look after yourself and make sure your account, your money, your wealth is safe. So hopefully this has brought you guys to awareness of this scam, and hopefully it does save even like 1, 2, 3 people. Hopefully it saves a lot more than that, but if it does help people actually avoid these, then I'm more than happy to keep making them, because I just don't want to see you guys lose your money, lose your bank, get scammed, because it causes people to quit the game. It causes you to just really not enjoy the game, and it's just toxic. It's just not good to have in the community. Scams and lures are always going to be in RuneScape. They are, no matter what we do. Doesn't matter who makes a video on what, it doesn't matter, they're always going to be in game. But what we can do is inform people, make sure that all the scams that we can find are very public, and just educate people so that they're aware of what's going on, and then they can avoid the scams. They can call people out on it, they can put the right reports in, even though they don't really do much, but it's still worth doing. So if you are approached by someone asking you to buy the limit for an item that is ridiculously high value for what it should be, or it's just something that you've never heard of or anything like that, just report them and ignore them and just move on from there. It is not worth any like arguing or hassle with it. Just report them and move on. That's the best way to do it, and then hopefully the next person does the same as well. Like I say, guys, if you want to help the video out and help get more people aware of this, then do leave a like on it, and also do leave a comment down below as well. But also, last thing, and I know this is sort of like adding a little bit extra to it that is not needed, but if you guys are aware of any scams such as this, you have any proof of it, or you have seen it happening, then do send me a message of current scams that are going on in game on Discord. There'll be a Discord link in the description below, so just join that server and then I'll be at the top of the list on the right hand side. And if there is anything like this that you know about, then feel free to send me a message, inform me, and then we can help inform other people as well, because it happens way too often. Even these days, people falling for YouTube scams and that sort of stuff, and of course the more people we can educate on it, then the better it will be. So I would absolutely appreciate the help that you guys can provide if you do have any information on that sort of stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you found this interesting. If you did, you know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you all so much to the channel members who support the channel that bit extra each and every month. Your names would have been on screen right now, of course, and like I say, that is very much appreciated. Other than that, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.